Welcome back to the Rich Equation podcast. I'm your host, Ashish Nathu. Today, I wanted to spend time talking about Navy SEALs. I have learned so much about business and strategy and building teams and being a wartime leader from studying what Navy SEALs do. And so I wanted to share today some things that I've learned and some of the real deep concepts of how Navy SEALs behave and act and how we can think about those concepts within business. Now, before I start, I'll share that there's a lot of content out there about how military concepts, not only from the SEALs, apply to business. And I think all that is really, really good content. But I really have learned a ton from thinking and behaving like Navy SEALs. I'll also share that in the last couple of years, lots of businesses, not just me or my business or our business, have suffered through really challenging times. And so I think there's something to study about how entrepreneurs succeeded, how they came out of all of the challenges, and how to think more like a wartime leader and behave and act their teams and orient their teams to behave in these very difficult, challenging times and pivot quickly. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but the Naval Academy has a special warfare ethos. And I'm going to read a little bit of it because I want it to create the underpinning of what I'm trying to talk about here today. And it starts like this. In times of war or uncertainty, there's a special breed of warrior ready to answer the nation's call. A common man with uncommon desire to succeed. Forged by adversity, he stands alongside America's finest special operation forces to serve his country, the American people, and to protect their way of life. I am that man. My trident is a symbol of honor and heritage bestowed upon me by the heroes who have gone before. It embodies the trust of those who I have sworn to protect. By swearing the trident, I accept the responsibility of my chosen profession and way of life. It is a privilege, and I must earn it every day. I serve with honor on and off the battlefield. The ability to control my emotions, my actions, regardless of circumstance, set me apart from other men. Uncompromising integrity is my standard. My character and honor are steadfast. My word is my bond. We demand discipline. We expect innovation. The lives of my teammates and the success of our mission depend on me, my technical skill, tactical proficiency, and attention to detail. My training is never complete. We train for war and fight to win. I stand ready to bring the full spectrum of combat to bear in order to achieve my mission and the goals established by my country. The execution of my duties will be swift and violent when required, yet guided by very principles that I serve to defend. Brave men have fought and died building the proud tradition and feared reputation that I am bound to uphold. In the worst conditions, the legacy of my teammates steadies my resolve, and silence guides my every deed. I will not fail. I've read that probably 36 times, and I just find the words so empowering. Now, I know business is not like war. I know it is not about death, and the dangers that exist in war are not the same as the dangers that exist in the boardroom. However, I have found there is real palpable evidence and utility in these words and these thoughts and this languaging. And I'm going to start by sharing some of my own experiences because I have really implemented this psychology of SEAL team within my organization. And we'll start off by the leadership team, because I think that the values of the company and the leadership team really embody the direction of a company. I call our leadership team a SEAL team. In fact, we call it the SEAL Team 6, and it's gone up or down in terms of human beings, but we still call it a SEAL team. And we talk about the mindset of a SEAL team. And the reason why I spend so much time about militant and SEAL team thinking within my team is because we're really trying to get the team dynamic and the mindset of my team focused on live or die. And I know that sounds super extreme. I'm just going to share for you guys, for the listeners, that this has worked for me, that if we do not work together, if we do not move in one direction, if we do not back each other up and protect each other's backs, we will die. Now, in a literal sense, of course not, we're dying, but the psychology of we are one instead of many, and we act, behave, move, orient as one, is really successfully portrayed by the SEALs. And because their situation is often life or death, they have no choice. And I think in business, it's very easy to think individualistically about your job, your role, your position, your compensation, what have you. And to orient as a one dynamic team that either moves together or they die has worked. And it works for me every single day. The second thing that I've learned in that, and there's a lot of, we can go deeper into this about how you language this and how you do exercises and all those things. And if you guys are interested in that, you can reach out to me. But that's number one. Number two is, what it does is it gets everybody focused on being on the same page. Now, you can't have 7 people all orienting different places, because if you do, you die. Everybody's got to be focused on the same thing. And how we do that is we can become diplomatic. We can do it in times of peace. We can be thoughtful and diplomatic and ask deeper questions and challenge each other and all that. But in times of war, we're all on the same page. There is no time to be diplomatic. There is time to be directive, specific, and take action. And by practicing this methodology, by practicing this languaging, it's really helped being able to act and orient quickly, not only against our competitors, but against the marketplace and against slow behavior, slow action, slow thinking. And I can honestly say that it's probably saved our business multiple times in all of the adversity in the last half a decade that our industry has experienced, and more specifically since tariff and COVID and the freight situation and global logistics situations, and now, all of the economic issues with recession, et cetera. It also helps the team understand that we need to have a tough mental mindset. And I, as a leader, and I, as a person, really lean on this and think about this all the time, that, I'm my biggest asset. And so I spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy building my physical, mental, spiritual, emotional toughness. And by bringing that within the boardroom, within the leadership team, within the company, it takes all of the weak out. And I'm not speaking from a place of judgment. What I mean is that if you have highly fluctuating, highly challenging industries or businesses, which every entrepreneur has this at some point, you really need to think and prepare the mindset of people when difficult things happen. Are we coming from a place of insecurity, vulnerability, softness, diplomacy? Or are we coming from, we're ready to go to war? Let's go, let's orient, let's move. And so it gives language, it gives a common dialogue, this Navy SEAL training, this Navy SEAL dialogue. It gives people a common language to understand that we better be tough or we're going to die. We're going to have to really protect each other. We're going to have to get on the same page or we're going to die. And the last thing I'll share and how this has really helped me is, and this is a Navy SEAL term, is to quote unquote embrace the suck. And what I mean by that, and what they mean by that, is going into war is never rosy. It's not peace. It's not going to be fun. And to acknowledge that in the J curve of growth, they always talk about really identifying the pain, identifying the dip. And when you're preparing a team in times of peace, it's really important to understand that we're going to walk into times of suck. And we need to acknowledge, we need to know, we need to be mentally and emotionally prepared for that suck and to embrace it. And even when you're in the war, to suck it up, to learn, not to suck it up in terms of being passive about it, but to embrace it, to really realize, like, we're in it for this short amount of time. Let's not complain about it. Let's not whine about it. Let's not talk about how stressed we are, overwhelmed we are, or how tired we are, because that does not serve our purpose. We're not going to survive with that mindset or that thinking. Let's move. Let's act. Let's behave. Let's mobilize, and let's take dramatic action. So I really have found empowering language and almost this motivational power in the way that Navy SEALs think about mobilizing in times of war. And I have successfully implemented those mindsets and that culture and that languaging within my business, within my team. And I can honestly say that it has supported our ability to adjust, pivot, and change multiple times in our business in the last few years, and has significantly supported our ability to be successful, prevented failure, and not only that, but also significantly enhanced the quality of our team, the relationship between our team, because we truly believe that we are acting and behaving as one. I hope that was helpful for you. I really want to lean into this the more as time goes on, but I really want you guys to spend some more time looking at this. One of the books that I recommend is Rob Roy's The Navy SEAL Art of War, but there's a lot of really, really beautiful books out there. You know, David Goggins talks a lot about mental toughness as the baddest mofo on the planet right now. And so it doesn't matter where you get your energy or horsepower or your power from, but really start thinking about the lessons of the mindset of the military and how we can bring that into business and become more change and innovation driven companies and teams, is what I'm always trying to do. And which is why I'm trying to bring this information to you guys today. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.